We have to accommodate the increased demands of commuters and travelers across this bridge. It is a traffic bottleneck that is not consistent with the economic growth that we want to see on both sides of the river. And indeed, I was reminded this morning, it is the only stoplight between Mexico and Canada on the I-5 corridor. We can do better, and we have to do that. So we know that there is no option, and now we believe that we have an opportunity to restart the process to design and construct a bridge that is consistent with our values on both sides of the river. The price tag of this investment, this non-optional investment, let me point this out, there is no option other than making this investment. The price tag, I can assure you, will be lower than if we wait another year or two to get this job done. This is the right day to start. And the least expensive way to replace this bridge is to start today. I just want to point that out. Other than that, the parameters are unknown because we have to design the bridge. Secondly, the voters' initiative will not affect at least our immediate actions because this is a safety issue. It is a replacement of an existing bridge, and our freeze, if you will, applies to new capacity infrastructure. So we will move forward with the joint office consistent with the money that's been appropriated in that regard. Your third question about tolling, that is unknown, although the Memorandum of Intent makes reference to not eliminating the possibility of tolling. I think anyone who understands the financial necessities here and also the uncertainty regarding federal funding, because we had certain federal funding on the original project that is now uncertain at best. So we've recognized reality that could be under discussion. And if so, it's going to be something that both Washington and Oregon is going to have agreement on if we move forward, and everyone's going to be listened to, and all options, including getting 100% federal funding, we would love to seek. So we'll be aggressive in that regard. Go ahead.
Look, I think it's critically important that we have all of our partners at the table, and that includes our federal partners. This project is key not just for the economies of Oregon and Washington, but it's key for the economies in the entire Western region. So I think it's critically important that we have our federal partners at the table. There's no question for me that our absolute number one priority has to be seismic resilience for this particular project. Secondly, for me, it would include high-capacity public transit. Hopefully that would move us toward reducing congestion.
My answers would be largely the same. And I think the reality of this, that just sometimes we sort of forget the purpose of this. This bridge could fall down any day with a small seismic event. We do not have a choice. We have to replace this bridge. And that's why I've been quite open-minded about the method of doing so in this regard. So the first order of bids is to have a bridge that's not going to fall down tomorrow. And so that's got to be the highest priority. I agree that we need to increase the capacity of this bridge, and that's why I believe high-capacity systems are very, very important. As I've said in the past, I thought light rail was the best option personally, but we're going into this with an open mind looking at the data.
We need to get the ball rolling on this because, as you know, we're going to be in a campaign year at the federal government next year. Campaign years tend not to have new pieces like this in federal funding. It'll be interesting to see what the feds do, but we can't wait for them. We kind of feel like we're on our own here on the west side. We're anxious to move the project forward. We know it's going to take time, but let's get going, get things working. There isn't a national project in the entire nation, whether it's freeway or highways or bridges, that isn't being tolled right now. Each time we go back to Washington, D.C., we ask that same question, and each answer is there are no projects that are not being tolled. Every single project has a toll. We're not special. We would love for the federal government, and you heard Governor Inslee say 100% federally funded, you bet. Those days are long gone. We expect it to be part of the conversation. We'll have to have federal funding, but this is a federal project. This is a federal freeway. This is a federal bridge. This has been announced by 3 different presidents over generations that this is a federal bridge. The seismic piece scares me to death. Getting the high-capacity transit in there so that we can move people throughout. Oregon and Portland specifically don't want to take care of the 67,000 people when the earthquake comes. They want those people to come home to Clark County, get back to their homes when that earthquake happens. They don't want to house them and feed them for months on end. We need to replace the bridge. All of our sister cities, the county, the 3 ports, different agencies have approved this resolution. Replace the bridge with high-capacity transit in a dedicated guideway. We think this can happen. I would love to start putting a shovel in the dirt in 3 years.